First and foremost, going to start off by saying, all praises be to Yahweh, Barsham, Yahushai, Barsham Kadash. Alright, double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone. And salute to your brothers teaching the word in sincerity and in truth, man. And I got a lesson here. And I'm going to do a couple of things, man, but I'm just going to wait for people to come in and then I'm going to go into some, we're going to go into some stuff, but basically, man, when you read, everything is in the scriptures, man. Everything. The nations, I was gonna call it a different title, but the Spirit had me name it while I named it. Because we started to talk, we were kind of reasoning about some stuff. The nations, all the nations are in the Bible, man. There's 80 nations on the planet, and out of Noah came his 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and that's where all the nations on the planet go back to. They go back to Noah, and I'm gonna read some of that. I'm gonna read some of that in Genesis 10 and all that. Let me get some of that. All right, so everybody on the planet goes back to these sons of Noah, and that's facts. That's history, man. The scriptures talk people's diverse manners, the way they act, their characteristics, the spirit that they got in them was all given to them by the Most High power. The way you act, the way you are, is given to you by the Most High power Himself. He's the creator. He's the painter. He's painted the picture. You're the creation. You manifest your own. You created, man, by the Creator, and He created you the way He wants you to be. So He created the Israelites. He created all these nations, and He created them the way He wanted it, the way He wants them to be. So I'm gonna get some scriptures, and then we're gonna go into the. We're gonna go into this. All right. So let me start. Let me read. I ain't scriptures written down, but we got spirit, and I'm gonna type in. I'm gonna do some word searches and stuff like that. So let's see where we get. So let's read Genesis 10. Right, we'll open with that. Right. So this is Genesis 10 and 1. Right. It says, now these are the generations of the sons of Noah. Now you read about Noah's Ark, man, and the spiritual thing about it. After the Lord destroyed that earth, the realm that was back then with the great flood, which we get scriptures on that. But those people drowned, and the only people that were saved was Noah and his sons and their wives. All right. Now that Noah's Ark is real. They found that. They actually found it in Turkey, man. Mount Ararat, Turkey. And this brother is from Turkey, which is spiritual, man, because you got Israelites all over the planet. Now Paul was all up in there, Asia Minors, Turkeys, all of that. So that, you read the Bible. That's where we was at. That's where we was at.
Yeah. 7 churches.
Yeah, the 7 churches.
Yeah.
Turkey, man. You know what I'm saying? And obviously that land got conquered by the Ottoman Turks, but that goes into what we're going into as well, with these 10 toes, because Edomites conquered everywhere. Through the conquistadors, the Ottoman Turks, all of these Edomite groups, man. There's major Edomite groups like the conquistadors and the Ottoman Turks.
Yeah.
You You had the conquistadors that took down the Latin tribes. That got a lot to do with the Moors and all, taking out the Moors and all that spin and all that, because Jake were all up in those lands, man. See, that's what they don't want you to know. And we're gonna, Lord willing, for the Spirit, I'm gonna bring out some more of that information, which has already been brought out through the Spirit anyway by apostles on down. The high priest Ariad, go into icons galore. That the dark nations were all in Europe before Esau Edom. Now Esau Edom would like to call themselves Europeans. You're actually not Europeans.
Yeah. Different nobility families in Europe, Jake were all in Europe, The elder was mentioning that before, we was talking about Japheth. Among Japheth, all up in Europe. Jake's, everywhere, man. The Dark Ages.
Yeah, Esau Edom started to get up in Europe through the Greeks, man, and started, colonizing and taking Japheth. They stole Japheth's culture, basically, man. And you had Jake's up there with Japheth, but you had Esau Edom took Rome. Rome was Japheth, Romulus, Remus, and all that, and all this, Greece and all that. They had a wreath around their heads. You look at the icons before Alexander the Greek and all that. They had braids and all, dark skin and all that, man. Dark skinned and light skinned. Dark skinned and light skinned Jakes. No, not Jakes, Japheth, in Europe. And Esau took that culture. And that's the truth. So a lot of these people like Vocab Malones, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, man. You didn't know what the fuck he's talking about. That geezer's to talk shit, facts. It says, these are the generations of the sons of Noah. And it's funny because he's put up, I don't know, but he's put up like a precept. First Chronicles 1 and 5 says the sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, Tyrus, the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, Riphath, Togarmah, and the sons of Javan, Elish, Tarshish, Kittim. And so they were all up in Europe. When you look that up, they were in Europe. Japheth was in Europe, man. So dark nations were in Europe before you fucking Edomites. They want to, just because they're ruling everything, they got their face over it. And you people don't know history. You think Edomites were just everywhere for the start of time? That's fucking bullshit, man. Now, apparently they got mad because Cleopatra's supposed to be like some black woman and all that. Oh, the Egyptians were dark skinned. Now we know, I think was Cleopatra was a son of the Ptolemy, right? Daughter of a Ptolemy. She was an Edomite, but she probably would have that dark skin. You know what I'm saying? Because he popped. You know what I'm saying? Dark skinned woman, but that's you get that because you had Edomites that were popping. They were looking like the Jakes. The apostles were always going through. What's that line of those?
Is it the Herodian?
Yeah, the Herodian lines. So you had the Edomites that were sitting up there acting like Jakes.
Yeah.
So you gotta know these lines of who's who. So you can't tell us. I remember you had that fucking raging lunatic come to the camp, and he's going, Esau's Japheth.
Oh yeah.
That I don't know where he's at right now. I don't know what's going on with him. He might be bugged out, but I remember he had a mate, he had a pal, and his pal, after that he was trying to get involved. And he was like, he was like apologizing. He was trying to get involved because he said his mate. We found out his mate's going off, so he might be cool. You know what I'm saying? But the other dude, man, that dude spaced out of his mind. He saw Japheth. Why? Because Japheth was in Europe. Is that what? So you don't know history then? That is so simple. And I'm gonna do a video on that, Lord willing. Japhet and Jake in Europe. Jake was up there because Jake scattered. Jake was everywhere, man. Jake was everywhere in the Median and Persian Empire. Medio-Persian Empire. The Jakes were all up in them places. I think Jake would just, no, they were all up in the different provinces of the Medio-Persian Empire, man.
Yeah, part of the curses.
Yeah.
Scattered all around. If I can say all that, you know, you mentioned when you read the Chronicles, you mentioned one of the sons of Japheth, Ashkenaz. What do you have those Amalek people from the line of Amalek, which are the Edomites, that go around and pretending they basically claim our identity. They say they're Jews, and another thing that they say is Ashkenazi Jews. You know, so they got two different people put it together, mix and matched it together, and they're not even those people. You don't hear them come out and say, well, we're Amalek. Because when you read about Amalek and when you read about Esau in the scriptures, it's not a good outlook, man. You know? Whenever it talks about the end of those nations, it talks about destruction. You know?
Yeah, they want to be everything but Edomites, everything but Amalek. So they pick Ashkenaz and they'll pick Jews, they'll pick everything. But that's got nothing to do with it. Now, you're going to have Ashkenazi Jews that are really Jakes.
Yeah.
You know, Jakes up in Europe. That is because the Israelites are all up in Europe. So that's really Israelites, but you know, these Amaleks, man, you know, you're going to have Jakes amongst, that's really us. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't them. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japhet. And we all know Shem. We know the Hamite. We know who the Hamites are. Ham. It tells you in the.
Zondervan's Bible.
I think the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary. That Hamites are the sons of the Egyptians, the Cushites, and the Canaanites, and that Sudanese, and people like that. But it says, but not the Negroes. It says, but not the Negroes, the Egyptians, and all that. So we're not half fucking Hamites. Why is that in the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary? So all you people like Vocab Malone and you scoffers and scorners, man, the Most High is gonna, you know, I'm gonna put it like this. I'm gonna get real with it. The Most High is gonna fuck you up, bro. The Most High is gonna fuck you up. You know what I mean? Unfucking filtered. Most High is gonna fuck you up. You fucking punk, man. And you know you're pushing the truth, because every time you put up a video, GMS does 10 videos, and everybody's like coming across. You actually got videos discussing what we believe, and the people are like, wow. In their head, that's what they're thinking, because they've never heard it. But what we're saying is the truth. All right, Amalek are not Israelites, man. We're not Hamites. Or when Noah was a dark-skinned man, and so were his sons, dark-skinned. Just because someone's dark-skinned doesn't mean they're the same people, you fucking piece of shit. That's why you got sort of book called Hebrewisms of West Africa, because they're saying that the people on the west coast of Africa, they call it the Gold Coast, and over there, Ghana, Nigeria, and all that, they got Israelite customs, blowing the ram's horns, wearing the robes, and then you got the Canaanites and shit in the south, straight out Hamites and all that, doing mad things, and they don't even like Jake. Those Hamites, man. So don't get it fucking twisted. We ain't even got the spirit of Hamites, and you keep pushing that because you're all fucking devils. So you're saying all Edomites, we're just Europeans and Jews, and you blacks are just Hamites. Yeah. That's fucking bullshit, man. You're chatting shit. You're chatting fucking shit. How about that? How about that? How about you're chatting shit? You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're chatting shit. You need to fucking pack it in. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man. Why the fuck does it say in the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary that the so-called Negroes are not Hamites? And all you can come out with, because you was in Africa. Not every dark-skinned person was in Africa, you fucking idiot. And Noah was dark skinned, and so were his sons, and they weren't all in Africa. So what the fuck you got to say about that? You fucking clown, man. You ain't got nothing to say. You fucking idiots, man. And you know what? I'm getting pissed off because you know what? That's demonic. That's a demonic lie. All you so-called blacks, you're Hamites. But we ain't got the spirit of Hamites. We don't even look. A lot of us don't even look like them. As a matter of fact, we look more like the Ethiopians.
Yeah.
The script, you know what I mean? Than some of these Hamites. Like the Ethiopians are Hamites, but there's a particular scripture says you're not like unto the Ethiopians, because the tribes have got a diverse look. Look at Brazilians. They got very light to very dark, and you got like all types of different jakes there. You could say in Brazil it looks like every tribe's there, the way they look, you know what I mean? Then you got Cape Verdeans and that, and you know what I mean? They're Israelites. Look at the way they look. You're sitting there talking about we look like some Hamites. We're Hamites. You out of your fucking mind, man. If someone asks, aren't the Ethiopians Cushites? Of course they are. Of course. I'm saying that, what I'm saying, the scripture says that we look like them. You know, matter of fact, let me get it. They're Hamites. I said that. The Ethiopians are definitely, they're not our people. They're heathens, 100%. They don't even like Jake, so you know, that's right. You know, if you, just to clarify that. But the scripture says we look like them, meaning that we're dark skinned. If you type in Ethiopians and you look at pictures of them, they kind of look like the Brazilians, and you can tell the difference between the Ethiopian and that. But you type in Brazilians and you look at the pictures, and you look at, they kind of look similar. All right.
Just being of a dark nation don't mean all the nations other than Esau are really the dark nations, man. You got, you look at the line of Shem or Japheth, you can go to like, I don't know, the Aborigines, they're dark. You got dark Elam, which are Shemites, dark Moabites,
Yeah.
You got melanated people all around the world. It doesn't mean that's why you got to know, the elder mentioned the 18 nations, you got to know the nations. You got to know the tribes, you got to know the characteristics of those people, and it's down to the spirit as well, who's the heathen. And scriptures say a spirit beareth witness with our spirit that we're the children of God. That's how you know. You can have, because the scriptures say you can have people being picked, Judah, Elam, Cush, all these different places in Isaiah 11. It mentions Hamath, it mentions these places, but you're gonna have the elect that are gonna be saved from there. So what does that mean? You're gonna have people looking like all these different nations. People looking like Cushites, people looking like Edomites, Moabites that are going to be saved, man.
Amos 9:7, are ye not as children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel? And that just means that we look like them, because the Ethiopians are Hamites, and they're going into captivity. They're going to serve slavery under the Israelites, because they're a bunch of Hamites, man. And they're imposters, and they're claiming that, you got the Philosopher Jews there. They're claiming that they're Israelites. They even there's history on them. You know what I'm saying? Getting in the land and all that and all this, and acting like as if they're us, man. They ain't us. All right. Let's go back to Genesis 10, and we're gonna go into that. And yep, I seen that comment. The Celts, they're definitely Israelites, and I was going to go into that because that's part of the Celts are known as barbarians. You had Celts, and you had Germanic tribes, and you had the Scythians, and these are Israelites, man. These were Israelites that were outside of Rome. You had Japhet up there, because you had the Picts with Japhet. But the Celts was Israelites. And they were dark skinned, and they called them what, the barbarians. Now, if you read what a barbarian definition is, I had one up here. Let me get it. Barbarian. Let me look it up, and I'm gonna go into that in a minute. So barbarians. I've typed it in. Somalis, they're fucking. Where's this thing? It's not showing up on this phone. I had something that said that the barbarians basically. I had something that said. Barbarians, basically, if you didn't speak Greek, and he said they were evil and all this, because that's how the Greeks looked at them. But I don't know if it's gonna come up on this. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Not going into let's see. I got one here. It says barbarians, a word today that often refers to uncivilized people or evil people and their evil deeds. Originated in ancient Greece, and it initially only referred to people who were from out of town, or did not speak Greek. Today, the meaning of the words far removed from its original. So a lot these tribes, these people outside of Rome, they were getting called barbarians. Now Paul actually taught they dealt with barbarians. They said it to barbarians and the Scythians. You can put the Celts up in there in that as well. One second. So I'm going to go back to Genesis 10. Check these comments, man. Look at what things being said. Yeah, the Somalians, they're following Islam now, but they got they pretty much they got conquered and converted to all that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Them Somalians are Hamites, man, definitely. And they're not really following their original, religion. Somalia is by what? It's by Ethiopia, and it's by Egypt, and the Kushites over there. I think the Kushites. Let me type in exactly where Somalia is. Let me look at the maps. Let me go to the map. Right, it's between Ethiopia. It's right by Ethiopia. Now place Eritrea, Ethiopia, Somalia, all next to each other, and a lot of these borders and stuff like that. There's more borders than there were. There's more borders now than there were in the ancient world, right? But them Somalia, everyone, basically, a lot of these Hamites. There's a lot of on the east, a lot of Saudi Arabia going into Egypt and shit, and they make a lot of money. They got a lot of dealings going on, and obviously the rise of Islam, sucks in a lot of people. Even Jake. Okay, my map's not working. But this is all right. We're doing some research here. But my map's messing around.
Yeah, they got conquered by the caliphates and all that, man.
They go into it.
They got conquered by the caliphates, you know, when Islam was on the rise, and they got conquered again. They got conquered the Edomite Italians. That's why you got a lot of Somalian words that are Italian words, you know, like ice cream, gelato. So they're just, you know, they're just heathens, man. Now, obviously, you get Jake among them because Jake are everywhere. You get Jake among all people, man. You know, but they're Hamites. All that area, Somaliland.
Well, Somali is like right under Ethiopia. And I've heard that too. I heard people say, no, yeah, the Somalians are the Egyptians. But if you really want to check out the real Egyptian, if you look at the map, Sudan is right under Egypt, that big ass country, and they've been pushed out down into the Sudan, you know.
And they're known for being tall.
Yeah, they're known for being tall. Yeah,
Sudanese, dark, tall, man. And when you look at the Egyptians, were known for that. You know, Mount Zion.
They're dark. The Sudanese are dark, tall, and like cruel and fierce. Like the Egyptians, man, but they are known for being dark and tall. And you got a lot of, but then you got North Africa as well. A lot of Arab influences going on up there as well. So let's go back to Genesis 10. This is why you got to look into maps. Where you gotta get into maps, man, because a lot of people just say all sorts, man. You know, there's all sorts of stuff on the internet, but a lot of these people have not really looked into this stuff themselves. They're just following what's posted on the net and like a picture, or, you know, on Instagram or TikTok or something, and then they'll start running around telling people. But if you ask them break down the nations of Genesis 10, they're not gonna have a clue on how to do it. You know. Now I think if you actually type in, let's try this. Yeah, there's a lot of Israelites in North Africa. Like a lot of those people in Morocco, man. A lot of Jakes come out of there. I think you even had this fighter, what's his name, Buddy Hardy. There's a lot of kickboxers and stuff from Morocco. There's a lot of Jakes over there. A lot of Jakes in that North Africa, man. You had the Moors, which were Israelites following Islam. You know, they were all left seed in them places and stuff like that. So there's a lot of Israelites in North Africa.
I grew up with a friend in the world who was from that area, man. Morocco, Algeria. He was a Jake, you know. He was into like MMA and stuff. As you grew up with a cat like that, it's straight up Jake, you know. Algeria, Morocco. I knew a guy in school, Tunisia. He was from Tunisia. That's another place. He was a Jake.
Yep. Okay. All right. So let's go. Yeah, the Berbers. Yeah, the Berbers, man, Swavi, the Jakes. So you know a little something. So let's go back to this Genesis. So this is what we gotta do, and this is spiritual, because this is what this lesson was about. Reasoning on this sort of some history. So let's read this now. Let's read the Genesis 10 and 2. Well, Genesis 10 and 1 again. Now these are the generations of the son of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So like we said, Ham, that's all your Hamites, you know, your Africans basically, man. Japheth is your Aboriginal people of Australia, New Zealand. But they were in Europe. And they were the original Greeks. When you look at the pictures and all that, they were the original, before Alexander the Greek and all that, because they, you know, Edomites, you know, Greco-Rome, that was when Edomites came in. But before that, you had archaic Greece, you had It was Japhet up there, the Picts.
Yeah, one.
You won, you know what I mean? That was all Japhet. You know, you look at the just like how the rugby players look in New Zealand and the way they are with this. That's how them Picts and that look, man. And the body paint, that was them. They got pushed out by the Greeks, and where they're at now, over there in Australia, New Zealand, and over there. All right, so that's Japhet. Now Shem, out of Shem came a lot of nations. Israelites came out of Shem. Edomites came out of Shem. Arabs came out of Shem. Elam came out of Shem.
Moabites, Ammonites.
Right. So we read this. The sons of Japhet, Gomer, Magog, Madai, and Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tyrus. So that's all up in Europe. The sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah. The sons of Javan, Elishai, Tarshish, Kittim, Dodanim. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, everyone after their tongue, after their families, in their nations. So that's where they went. And then it says the sons of Ham, Cush. We just went into that, Ethiopians and all that. Misraim, them Hamites, Egyptians, and Put and Canaan. Canaan's your South Africans, I think Put's your North Africans, right? So this is the sons of Cush, Sheba, Havilah, and Sabta, and Ra'amah, and Sabtika, and the sons of Ra'amah, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begat Nimrod, and he began to be a mighty one in the earth. And then when you go into this Nimrod story, this is where you had like one of the original New World Orders, where they built the tower and they tried to unite everybody's speech, and it was all in sorcery, all in witchcraft. Because when you go into Nimrod, that's where you got a lot of your paganism that you see today. A lot of your paganism that you see today goes back to Nimrod, man.
Yeah.
Semiramis and Tammuz. That's where you get your virgin birth. Because the Lord really wasn't of a virgin. He was born from Mary and Joseph had sex. But the story is crazy of the mother and child, because I think it was some crazy shit like Tammuz, Nimrod popped his mom or some shit. The story's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Or reincarnated as Tammuz through a virgin birth. The story's crazy. I can't even remember the story right now. And that's why they worship Semiramis as a goddess. And then all these other cultures started doing that paganism, the mother goddess cults. And it's not just, they've got many gods, man. Even in ancient Egypt, they had many gods. You know, people talk about, oh yeah, that's similar to Christ. How is it? That's bullshit, man. Why don't you talk about the fact that they had many gods in these realms too? They had many gods in Egypt, and before that, they weren't just dealing with that one deity, man. They had many gods. So that's bullshit, man. It says, and the beginning of his kingdom was Babal, and Iraq, and Akkad, and Kalna in the land of Shinar. So that's where he was set up at. Out of the land went forth Ashur, and built Nineveh, and the city Rehoboth and Calah. And Rezin between Nineveh and Calah, the same is a great city. And Mizraim begat Ludim, Ananim, and Lahabim, and Naptim, and then Mizraim to giants. It goes into that. It actually gives you the Egyptian lines. They were big and shit, man. You know. And so back then you had kingdoms being set up that were pagan. So then you get people that will do a documentary today and they'll go, oh yeah, oh ancient Babylon or whatever, you know, the Sumerians, and you know, and they'll say, oh that's ancient, that's the truth. That's bullshit, man. You know, just because it's old don't mean it was right. It was paganism. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. the Lord called Abraham out of
Right, exactly.
The Chaldees and all that. You know? And Abraham actually went down to Egypt and all that. He was schooling people, man. He was a righteous man. He was basically he was an Israelite. He was the son of God, you know? Before Israel was actually established, because Israel came out his loins. That's that chosen line, man. Or Faxad, you know? Shem.
Yeah, Eba.
You
know what I'm saying?
Which is why Abraham was called a Hebrew.
Peleg.
Eba, you know, Ibar, Hebrew. Abraham the Hebrew, man.
No, let's get certain on. Let me get me certain on that. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's read this. So this is Genesis 10 and 32. These are the families of the sons of Noah after their generations in their nations. And by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood, because the Lord deals with division. Like you know, every nation has to have their borders, man. You know, in Babylon now they just have melting pots, and everyone's a citizen of Rome. You've really got not got a nationality. You're just a citizen of state. But in the ancient world, you would have the land of Ham, the land of the Shemites, the land of you know, Japhet, and that's going to be going on in the kingdom. The Lord deals with borders, man, and people, and, you know what I'm saying. But Esau, like in that new, turn everybody to one speech. You know, like one understand. You know, just one. You know, basically, you ain't even a person. You're just a digit in the system. You're like a number in the matrix. You're just a worker. You got the bottom class and you got the top class elites. You know, this is Genesis 11:1, and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, "Go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly." And they had brick for stone, and slime they had for mortar. And they said, "Go to, let us build a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth." So they set up that Tower of Babel. And it says, "The Lord Yahweh came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded." And you got to understand, man, anytime a pagan kingdom is set up, the Lord sets his angels and he's scouting it. That happened before the time of the flood. The same thing happened. The Lord flooded out the earth because of wickedness. And then what happened? The heathen nations, right after the flood, set up a wicked-ass kingdom straight away. Why? Because they're heathens, and that's the program to do that. We're going to be the rulers of the kingdom. We're going to show people what the fuck how the earth's supposed to be ruled, man. With righteousness. And you know what I'm saying? Not with pagan gods and weird, like, you know, the brothers always talk about the Egyptians had an 8-day week or 10-day week, and just bogged out things, messing up the cycles of life and all this.
Yeah.
But then you have people, oh, the Egyptians, oh, they're great. But they're just a bunch of sorcerers, man. And there's information about them. Fuck up with him. Information about them popping crocodiles and all of that. How about that? Having sex with crocodiles. So let's read it. It says, "The Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they all have one language. And this they began to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and they confound their language, and that they may not understand one another's speech." The Lord confused them, man. And Esau's trying to do the same thing right now. He's called a new world order, one world government, one world currency, one world order, one world religion. What would it be? Worshipping the devil, just like they were doing back then. whatever, under whatever deity that they want, whether it be the pantheism or whether it would just be straight up worshipping the devil himself, you know, whatever that is, because these Freemasons, you know, they've got their ideas and their beliefs and their lodges and their levels in the lodges, and they got their paganism and what they want you to believe in, set up. You know, they've got their mysteries and that. So on different levels, they'll teach you different things. You know, oh, well, really, you know, you start learning stuff, bowing to different deities and that. So the Lord power, Yahweh, scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And Babel means what? Confusion. Now, ain't this society called modern day Babylon? Horseman is full of confusion. A unification of demons and confusion. And what happened to, but that back then is going to happen to this kingdom today. It says, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. Okay, so there's that.
America's known for big towers, man, skyscrapers, you know.
You know what? Shall I get that? All right, let me get Obadiah now. Yeah, let me get Obadiah.
You know, when you was reading about the tower, I was thinking about, you know, they shall build, but I will throw down. Because that's what the Edomites are doing right now. You know, you mentioned the New World. I'm going to build, but I'm going to throw down. Everything you see, all these statues, these skyscrapers, these massive idols, all of it is going to be flat. And it's Redeemer in the kingdom, or the Empire State Building. That's going to be destroyed. You know?
Yeah, the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, right.
Which is another Semiramis, really. You know, come on, man. The Statue of Liberty is a female goddess. It's just sitting there in New York, and no one there wants to talk about it. Well, the people don't know what it is. Pretty much.
Esau's place, his kingdom's confusion, man. Even with driving, it's like there's a million different things going on. You know?
Facts. Obadiah 1:1, the vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. And we can go into that, but let me skip. It says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. No one likes them Amalekites, man. You know what I'm saying? They get Esau, Amalek is his major fucking lion. And nobody likes him. That's why you can't talk about him. We call them Amalek, you know what we're talking about, the small hats. That's who these people are, Edomites, man. There's even a fucking document. Who is Esau, Edom, and there's different ones. Even Amalek themselves in the Talmud or whatever called the Romans Edomites, but guess what? They're Edomites too. They're Amaleks. And just because they call themselves Jews, the Ethiopians were calling themselves Jews, does that make them the real Israelites? Hell fucking no. So it says, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee. You're proud. Thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock. And you got what? Mount Petra. Right? And you got Edomite women that are called Petra. I've seen it from Eastern Europe and that. It's like a name that, you know what I'm saying? So come on, man, you can't make that up. And then like, you know, pretty much Edomites, Petra was a city that you type it in, it had the Roman pillars, and it was carved out of a rock. Now, if you look at any city today, fucking anywhere, all the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, and we was talking about that. Esau's got his governments and his system going on in countries that he never had them in before. He's got it everywhere now. America, they didn't even have that in Rome. You know, Scotland, they never had it there. Ireland, they never had it there. You know what I'm saying? Russia, you know, they got parliament buildings and governments in the suits and all that, because they might have spread all throughout the planet Earth now. You know what I'm saying? But what do you notice? You notice that you see that the Roman pillars, just like you've had in Mount Petra, man, the Roman style pillars and made in important buildings, government of the Washington, White House, Washington DC. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature, man. So you can't sit up there and act like this ain't, like that ain't true, man. It says, so they dwell in the cliffs of the rocks. Everywhere looks like what was it, the Flintstones, from cavemen to building up caves everywhere. Everywhere, there's no, they destroy nature, they're not into nature. Them look at the fucking motorways, man. And we always go into how Rome was known for its roads. There's roads everywhere, the concrete everywhere. When you go in the city, it's concrete everywhere. And shops and billboards. Oh, buy this, buy that. This is a fucking joke. This is the Edomites' kingdom, man. All that dwellers in the cliffs of the rocks. You look around you, look in your city. It's rocks, bro. Facts. It fucks up your spirit, man. I don't fucking like that shit. You really want to be out there in nature or something, man? Yeah. Dealing with this fucking bullshit. It says, the pride of thine heart that have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high. And that's what you was going into. Now their habitation's high, man. Skyscrapers.
Yeah. And he's like, they love to talk about the Pentagon. Not the Pentagon, sorry, the penthouse. No, I've got the penthouse suite. Which the penthouse is at the top of the building, you know? They love talking about that, man.
Yeah, and a lot of you niggas that rough street niggas, man. And I'm gonna say that because I'm from the fucking streets. I'm just gonna put it like that. How about that? You know, in the UK, man. I know, I'm talking about the UK original shit. I'm from them fucking streets, man. All those motherfuckers in this UK shit. I wanna be real with you, man. I ain't talking about no fucking fake gangsters and all that. And just, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that real shit, man. I'm gonna name this shit. Old school shit. I know this shit. But a lot of you niggas out there, you sold out. Oh, you wanna be in them penthouse suites so you get deals? So a lot of yous, man, you gave into the role. You're a bunch of faggots, man. How about that? For what? For nice fancy coats, for a nice car.
So you can eat lobster in the shot.
Yeah.
You know? Overlooking the abomination, which is the city of London. Yeah, they got that building, the Shard.
Yeah.
I personally call that place the Eye of Sauron. You know, because it's shaped like that fucking tower in Lord of the Rings, man. Jakes is sell out. They want to be part of Esau's high habitation, man.
Yeah, you go Brazil. The Jakes over there in the favelas and all that, right? You got the favelas, that's a whole big thing. Fucking violent out there. But then you got, you know, when people make it, they go in the cities and they're in the skyscrapers serving Edomites, man. Edomites are in Brazil, literally getting served champagne by you fucking you Asherites and that, and whatever tribes are down there in that Brazil. You're serving Edomites, man, of silly. The pictures in the penthouses, and you saw Jake serving them the cocktails and that. Because you're slaves to these Edomites, and they call themselves Greek Romans, they call themselves Europeans, but they're actually none of that. If you really want to get deep, the Edomites. Esau is the biggest identity theft person that you're gonna get on the planet. He robs everybody's fucking identity. The man's a criminal, bro. The man is a hardcore criminal.
A thief.
It says, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me to the ground? You gonna expound on that?
Yeah. Well, you look at one of the symbols of Rome and the symbol of America, where you got the eagle. You know, the eagle soars up high and looks down on the earth, man. You know, and they put the bald eagle. When you look at Esau, you know, Esau basically, he don't fear the Most High. You know, scriptures talk about there's no fear of God in their heart, man. You know, he thinks that he's actually going to be able to fulfill this new world order agenda, and he's proud. He's thinking, well, who's going to be able to really bring me down? Who's going to, you know? But you know, the truth is, but really they're scared. You know who they're afraid of? They're afraid of the Lord, man, Yahweh Shai. Really, you know, because ultimately it's all in the control of the Lord. You know, like the same thing with Pharaoh. The Lord is actually having them have that heart to do what they're doing, to try and fulfill their agenda, but they're not going to be able to, you know, while he's eating. Yahweh Shai is going to come and actually destroy his kingdom, man. And they're going to be hiding in those holes, in those rocks, in them deep bunkers, you know, them mountain retreats. You know, they don't, they know, because they watch the skies and see the chariots, they know, but really they're proud. That's the pride, man. They think, nah, we're gonna get away with this, you know. That's the pride of Esau, man. Who's gonna bring me down? Well, the Lord's gonna bring you down.
It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars. Now, what was the symbol of the Roman Empire? Eagle. What was the symbol of America? The eagle. That's the symbol. That's the emblem that they use. You know what I'm saying? So they use that emblem. So that's what they're getting identified as. So, to set their nest among the stars, man. You know, that's talking about they're out in space. They're so proud. How the fuck are you gonna go out in space? In space suits and all that. Come on, that's carnal, man. That is carnal as hell. They don't believe in the Most High. They don't pray to the Most High power. They believe, you know what I mean? They worship. They got technology, you know, of Satan. And they believe in these demons, man. They fucking believe in the demons, man. They fucking worship the fucking demons. And they're in the outer space. Because they're out in outer space because they're trying to take out Most High, man. That's why they're out of space, man. That's why they're fucking out there. And monitoring the people, man. These are devils, man. And the scriptures is summed them up. Though thou set thy nest among the stars. You look at the stars you saw there's got satellites out there, space stations and that, you know, above the firmament, you know, like but they can't go past the Van Halen belt because it's a belt of radiation. See, they'll make you believe they're not on Mars, man. That's bullshit. They're fucking lying. The Most High's got a belt of radiation around the planet. So the Most High gets down. You want to go into another dimension, another realm out there, you got to get past that belt of radiation. And there's videos on it exposing that they can't really get past that Van Halen belt. And you have stupid conspiracies. Oh, Hitler's got he's on the moon. He had World War II. He had an army on the moon, and they got horror movies on it. That's fucking bullshit, man. But guess what? The Germans are known for their technology. So, they've got technology in that. Was it Teeman, I think it was?
Yeah, Teeman.
They're known for being smart. Their technology, and that's where like ESAUS gets his shit from. German scientists and that. So yeah, so they've got stuff. They got technology, but they're not on the moon. With an army fleet on the moon, that's bullshit, man.
Yeah, even that director that got killed, the one that did Eyes Wide Shut, Stanley Kubrick. I remember Apostle Kabar brought out years ago on a video when he was basically, before he died, he kind of became like a recluse, and he was basically damn near, I can't remember the exact wording, but he was damn near saying that he was the one who shot that man. The whole moon landing. People think that shit is real. It ain't real. Yeah, they got satellites up there, like the elders saying. They got satellites. You had the Star Wars program in the 70s. Trump brought what? What was it? The 6th division of the army. All to try and fight the Lord. Because that's part of prophecy. The scriptures talk about there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels, and Satan and his angels. That's talking about Esau with his remaining armies trying to come up against Yahushua. The angels, man. Satellites and like the elder said, spying on people. They showed you that in that movie, Enemy of the State, with that character, that Gene Hackman and Will Smith. You had a Gene Hackman character that said, "Don't look up." And they were tracking Will Smith. How were they tracking him? Through all the digital, man. They were watching him with the eye in the sky, the satellite, like an eagle. Well, you had another movie, Eagle Eye. You couldn't use a credit card because they could track him and all that. So they're showing you that in the movies. You got Google Earth, where you can fucking go and click on any part of Earth and just put a little man there. You can go see the street, and that's commercial use. Any Tom, Dick, and Harry, we can go on Google right now and type that in and do that. We can go to some street in, I don't know, in Brazil. So how much more do you think that Esau's military have got, man? And that's all like the elders saying to try and come up against the Lord. But you know what? Yahushua is going to destroy them regardless, man, because the reason they got this tech in the first place, the Lord gave them that. And that's why they're so proud. The Lord said, I created the smith that blow off the coals in the fire. I remember years ago I went to the Imperial Museum with the Elder Kai Kwon. He was showing me, the rockets and all that. The apostles and the elders go into that. The rockets that he's mentioned, the Teeman, they were the first few rockets were made by the Teemanites, the Germans, the Russians. That's why when you go, a lot of the German scientists went over to Russia. There's, I remember Apostle Aramna bringing that out. Apostle Aramna. And when you look at Russia, they got some of the best nukes. The Tsar bomber, they got the hypersonic missile, Satan 2 and all that. Why do you think that is? It's all prophecy. Because those nukes are going to go over there to the land of America and different places, but mainly America, and it's going to destroy it, man. Anti-missile system's going to be able to stop them. Hypersonic missile warfare, thermonuclear destruction. And ultimately, that's the technology of the Lord. That's why it's referred to them as the arrows. These are the arrows of the Lord. The Lord's going to bend his bow and shoot them arrows, man. And there's nothing these people can do about it.
Yeah. You had World War I, World War II. And World War III is the third woe. And it's written, it's spoken of by the Most High. It says, "And though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord power." So when World War III happens and the Lord comes in the ships, what do you think the angels are going to be doing? That war in heaven is them shooting out them satellites out of that sky, man, and shooting out the people in them jets. That the NATO troops that are going to be fighting against the Lord and the angels, man. So that's how the Lord's going to bring them down. You know, via their own technology, because World War III is a masterpiece chess move of the Most High. Esau's nuking and destroying his own kingdom. They're pawns of the Most High. How about that? You know, they got the Albert Pike plan. Oh yeah, because when we do this, and we, no, matter of fact, it was already written in the scriptures before you was born. So, you know, they got set up, man. You set up. The Most High set you up, man. He set you up. And that's what happens when man's so proud that he thinks he's over the Most High. See, you know, you don't want to be like that, man. You want to believe in the Most High and be humble, man. Everybody's going to get humbled by the Most High, man. Every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. You're going to have to bow down to the Lord, one way or the other. And them that don't want to bow down to Yahushua, the scripture says, bring them hither and slay them before me, man.
That's right.
That's what the scripture says. That's what's going to happen, man. So for you fucking Christians, and I'm getting fucking tired of you plantation Christians, man. You people are crazy, man. Oh, you can't talk like that. Oh, fuck that. I'm going to talk how the fuck I want to talk. You can't do that. You can't. You guys are some of the biggest venomous demons on the planet, man. Backbiters. You know, they always people in the Christian church always talking about people, man. Oh, look at her shows, and you know, just slandering people for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that shit, man. But we can't talk rough. And you guys are slagging people off all the time. You fucking Negroes, you black women in the fucking churches. Fucking can't stand yous, man. How about that? You're full of shit. Obadiah 1:5. If thieves came to, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would thou not have stolen till thou had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? And that's Esau. He's gone across the whole planet and the whole world and told everybody that he's everybody on the planet. How can you do that? Everybody's history was Edomites, or we were the Egyptians, or we were the Picts, or we were the Celts, or we were the people in the Byzantine Empire, the Dark Nations. Those icons, the reason why we're dark is because we got burnt or oxidized or whatever the fuck. Come on, all these all over Europe, from Russia to Romania to Slovakia to England and all that. All of these icons is because of some gases. That's fucking stupid, man.
Right.
That doesn't make no fucking sense. That's why you people are done. Vocab Malone, you have these small hats. That's why you're trying to cut us off the neck. You're done. You're sounding stupid, man. You've been exposed. And you know what, through the Spirit, we might start rolling up on some of your churches, man. Fuck it. And go back in that old school spirit. Start rolling up on your motherfucking churches. Through the Spirit, because you know the Lord puts a thorn in your flesh. He kind of slows you down and stuff. So it's the Lord's movie. We do what the Lord wants us to do, man. If the Lord doesn't want us doing that, we ain't gonna do it. But it's been exposed, especially through top men like High Priest Ariana and all that, icons and all that. But through the Spirit wills and the Spirit jumps, I'm gonna go to these places and fucking expose this, man, for your iconoclasm. And it's a lot of you devils in these small towns, the witches. Well, there'll be an icon in a church, but you're not allowed in it. But it's small and that. They've never said, Jake's never walked up in there in their life. No protective and all that and all this. But fuck you, man. Because the whole reason we're on the planet is to expose this shit. And try to get back in that old rough spirit, you know what I'm saying? Rough it, you know what I'm saying? Because the Lord puts thorns in your flesh. But I'm really going to try and fucking through the Spirit. If the Lord wills it, I'm going to be exposing this shit. Man, we've done it. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? That goes into all that. Them barbarians, Jakes, Celts, Israelites. Man. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people a lot of these certain people scattered. You got scattered Israelites amongst all nations, man. You know. But how did the Lord reveal all these truths to us so we can expose it? Because that goes into your talents. You can't have the truth and not speak it, man. It will become a curse to you. It will devour you, man. It will eat your rest of life. This is spiritual. You don't want that, man. You start getting cursed. You start, you know what I mean? You start getting demons fucking with your ass, man. You don't want that. So if you got this truth, man, you gotta do something. Obadiah 1:7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. Esau is at war with nations. BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China. And even England's going to shoot nukes at America, man. It goes deep. But a lot of these nations, man, they're not with America. These smaller nations that hate the West and all that, especially in this day and age. And prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and understanding out of the mount of Esau? You can go into that if you want.
Yeah. Hey, when you read about Isaiah 47,
I'm just sipping a bit of your gun, man. Don't trip.
When you read about Isaiah the 47th chapter, you know, it goes into the monthly prognosticators, the stargazers. You know, these wise men of Edom, they're basically not going to be able to stop this destruction that's coming from Yahweh Shemel Shai. Okay, their understanding is going to be basically brought to naught. That's why the scriptures talk about, you know, the light of the wicked shall be put out. You know, because this truth ultimately, man, is going to devour this man and his kingdom, man. That's why the scriptures say, how does it go in 2 Thessalonians, man? And then the brightness of his coming. So first the Lord's going to expose him, okay? Bring the true light to expose his darkness, you know? Which is what the Lord's having these men do now, the prophets on the highways and byways, starting with the apostles and elders, you know? We're out here, we're doing these videos, we're exposing them. But then the Lord's going to come, just talk about the brightness of his coming. When Yahweh Shai returns, with the angels, the angelic force, there's going to be, you know, dust for violence. Babylon's going to go down, man. This man's kingdom is going to go. The scriptures talk about the heavens passing away. Esau's kingdom is going to be brought to nothing. It's going to be no more. You know, and it's going to fall down quick too, because the scriptures say, I beheld Satan fall as lightning. You know, like when you had ancient Babylon go down, it was a surgical strike. Persia came in, it was done. You know, but when the Lord actually turns up, when it cracks them clouds, you're going to see. It's going to be over, man. You know, ain't going to be no like huge battle where it goes on for ages and, you know, the angels are struggling. Nah, it's going to be complete and utter domination and destruction. That's what the Lord's bringing. So all this technology, all this, you know, demonic councils, everything that you know, the wise men, the councils that you have, your council of foreign relations, your council of 13, your CFR, your inner groups, your technology people, your scientists, your physicists, they ain't going to be able to stop the destruction that the Lord's bringing, man. All that's going to be brought to naught. You know?
Alright, let's read that. It says, Obadiah 1 and 9, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And this is talking about real people vocabulary. This is talking about Jacobites are here today, and the Edomites are here today. Oh, the Edomites are cut off. You're chatting shit because the Roman Jewish war. Well, you're a paid agent. You know what I'm saying? You know, that doesn't, like, all the scriptures go into that Esau's the wicked, earth's given into the hands of the wicked. If the Edomites are done away with, who's ruling the earth then? Who's ruling the earth, and what nation in the scriptures are they? They don't even tell you that. So you're a demon, you're a liar, and you ain't got the fucking solutions, man. You're a fucking warlock. You fucking demon, man. How about that? You're pushing lies. But the nations are here today. Now in the Middle Ages, you had the Jacobite reign, that what was Israelites, King James and them Israelites. Maybe we should do some videos up there in Scotland. We've done videos. We've done videos up there. We might have to do more. We'll see how the Spirit rules it. But we're in the end anyway, man, because right now, the time we're in, hell's about to break loose, man. This lesson ain't really about this, but you know, you got this government alert gonna happen, you know, 2 days and that. You know, so there's a lot of stuff going on here.
Just gonna try this one off.
Okay. It says, and that day thou stoodest on the other side in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into the gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast as one of them. But thou shouldest have not looked, and you know, when the Babylonians came in, Edomites rejoiced. You know, so all these nations have got a part to play. These Assyrians and all this, all these different nations. Iraqis and all that, they're going to pay. That's why a lot of them are getting jacked up right now in that war, man. It tells you that in Joel.
Yeah.
That a lot of people are dying in the Middle East because they fucking slaughtered us. See, a lot of you don't know how to put the scriptures together because you don't know the Bible, man. Forget the black Christian churches. They don't, come on, forget them. They don't know what the hell's going on. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of the destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of the distress. So, okay, I'm going to stop there on that. I could read the rest, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to type in, I'm going to go back. I'm going to type in this word barbarian. We'll see what we got. So that's how the Spirit works. We go into various topics. But let's see what we get. To go back into the topic that we got. Okay, so we got the barbarian. We got 1 Corinthians 14 and 11. Therefore, if I know not the meaning of the voice, I shall be unto him that speaketh a barbarian. He that speaketh shall be a barbarian. Let's read this one, Colossians 3:11. Where there is neither Greek nor Jew, circumcision nor uncircumcision. What does that mean? They're all Israelites. Different walks of life, but they're all Israelites. That's what that means. there's many scriptures about it. Romans 9 backs that up. You know, even the Spartans, man, they were Greeks, but they were what? They were Israelites, the Lacedaemonians. So what does that mean? You got Greeks that are Israelites. It tells you that they were Israelites. So how the hell can you act like, just because it says Greek, that it's talking about like some heathens, man? Not true. What I want to do is so when you look up this word Greek, in the word there is Helen. So it says a Greek-speaking person. Then it says especially a non-Jew, the going off. It really means a Greek-speaking person. Check this one. It says that in a wider sense, the name embraces all nations, not Jews, that made the language, customs, and learning of the Greeks their own, primarily references to a different religion and worship. So they've just admitted that if you adopt the customs of being a Greek, then that makes you a Greek, even if you're not a Greek or an actual heathen. But you know what they tried to drop in there? Not Jews. What does it mean, not Jews? Because Jews did, mate. So they're trying to throw you off. So every other nation became Greeks and spoke and got involved in that culture except for Jews. Now the only Jews that didn't do it was the ones that knew they were Israelites, that were keeping the law. So if you're talking about them, then they're right. But it says in a wider sense, the name embraces all nations, not Jews, that made the language, customs, and learning of the Greeks their own. So you can call it Greek even if he wasn't an actual Greek, and that's just proves that, right?
Yeah. Well, when you look at the Greek, like for example, if you go forward a bit to the Roman Empire, they called it the Greco-Roman Empire. The Apostle Paul was a Benjamite, but he was also a Roman citizen. You know, so you could say, well, he's a Roman. You could say that, but he was actually a Jew. He was a Benjamite specifically, you know, an Israelite. And then when you go into the history with the Greeks, you know, you just read about it in Maccabees, man. How the Hellenization period, how we started to become known as Greeks, you know. And you had Jews that grew up in you know, their forefathers have resisted. They're all up in you know, Jerusalem, all that were looking down on Israelites that were in the Greek customs. Yeah, they were saying, we wouldn't speak, we'd rather eat pork than speak Greek. You know, that was really looked down upon. Because, you know, there was a whole history with that, man. You know, in the Maccabean revolt. And that's all in the Apocrypha. That's why Esau don't want you to go into the Apocrypha, man. It names names. It goes into the history of the Greek Empire, how it came about, how Jace got down with it, you know, became uncircumcised. So it's all in there. It's all like the elder said at the very start of the lesson. Everything's in the scriptures, you know.
Even today, if you don't speak English properly, you get looked down on. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got a good English, so you always rough.
Yep.
And you know what's funny, man? Because the word Helen means really means Greek-speaking Jew. Because it says that there's one book that it says that like a definition book, Greek, Hebrew. It's Greek-speaking Jews. So you know what I'm saying? Like you got Cornelius, he was an Israelite, man. He says what his mom was a Greek, or something like that. His dad, one of them was a Greek, but he was a Greek. and well, you had, you know, and he was of the Italian band, and you know, pretty much. But that was meaning that that's where he was at. That's where, you know what I'm saying? Like you could be like, you could be an Israelite, but you're in the French Foreign Legion, which is a special forces, and they get like people from different countries to fight in the French Foreign Legion. Elite training in the hot climate. Special forces army training. But does that mean the French? They get people from all over different countries. Arabs, Moroccans, all types of people go there. Hamites, all that. So when he says he was of the Italian band, that doesn't mean that he was a, you know, he was a Edomite, man. That's stupid. That's why you gotta go back to origins of countries and who people are, and that's what these devils don't want to do. When you really look into the history and you go back to the origins, that's why, man, the scripture says, man, seek and you shall find. A lot of you don't want to know the truth, man. You don't want the truth to be the truth. You got a problem with the truth, man. That's why cast not your pearls for fucking swines. Fuck a lot of you people out there. You ain't gonna get this. You don't want to know. A lot of you are getting angry, so fuck you guys, man. Oh, these guys, I don't believe that. Yeah, oh, okay. You don't believe it? Well, fucking watch something else. Or whatever, man. Fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? John 7:35. Then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go that we shall not find him? Will he go until he dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? No. When he goes amongst the dispersed, amongst the Gentiles that he's teaching are the Israelite foreigners. He's not going to teach the actual straight out Gentiles. John 12:20, and there were certain Greeks among them that came up to worship at the feast. So we're reading about a lot of these Greeks. These are Israelites. And you're so simple. You got that fucking clown, Haman Malone, with his stupid look on his face. Oh, neither Jew nor Greek. With his glass shades on. I can't stand people like that. I'm the real man. I can't stand people like that. I fucking can't stand people like that. You ain't really about it, man. You ain't really about it. He tries to come up to camps with notes written and all that, you know, oh yeah, well, what about that? Trying to put people on the spot. Okay. But I ain't with all that, man. I ain't fucking with all that. You know, I'm just gonna be real with you. I ain't with all that. Let's read on anyway. So we was reading Colossians 3, where there is neither Greek nor Jew, circumcision nor uncircumcision, barbarian, Scythian, bond nor free, but Yahushua is all in all. So they're all Israelites. And now I looked at the word Greek and the images. What I want to do is look up the word, which I might go back and do that. I'll look up the word barbarian. So for barbarian, barbaros, right? That's what it says. It says uncertain divination, foreigner, non-Greek, barbarian. And we read one of the definitions earlier. It says one whose speech is rude, rough and harsh. So you got barbarians in the truth and Scythians that are in the truth, man. You got Greeks in the truth, you got Jews in the truth, you got barbarians and Scythians. And that's how you gotta map. You gotta know what's going on. The Bible's telling you about everything, telling you about people, regions. It's giving you all that info. But a lot of these don't know it because you ain't got the spirit law. Oh, it means Jew or Greek. It means that there was Jews and then the Greeks with the heathens. Come on, man. You sound stupid. You sound fucking stupid, man. You sound fucking stupid. You do. All of you scoffers and fucking scorners, man. And how does this all end with the nukes? That's why we teach about the nuclear missiles, man. Because how does it all end? It ends with the nukes, bro. You want to talk shit, you got to count the cost that people are going to be getting burnt up. And you know what, man? Man, fuck this shit, man. I'm telling you, we're at the end. There's one who speaks a foreign or strange language which is not understood by another. So Celts and all that, they were barbarians back then. And I'm gonna even say you got the travellers, right? The Irish travellers, they cursed out. People cursed them out in England. You know, the crown, because they speak basically like a broken English. You know, and they got their own tongue. And when you in the rough, and they're in their own, so they're barbarians in their own. You know what I'm saying? They're always fighting. The rough. But the opposite of that is, I'm trying to get a good job and work in a bank and I speak well, I'm smart. You know what I'm saying? That's the opposite of that. Now you can have Israelites that come out of both those walks of life. So it doesn't matter what walk of life you come from, man. We're all Israelites. It's used by the Greeks of any other foreigner ignorant of the Greek language, whether mental or moral. So if mental or moral, the added notion after the Persian War of rudeness and brutality, the word is used in the New Testament without the idea of reproachfulness. So you got barbarians, man. So everybody's mapped out in the scriptures who you are, your identity, your nationality. Why do you think that it looks at Esau calls Gad savages? Because they're not really getting involved, you know what I'm saying? So you look at them as barbarians, man. And then you got people that make treaties and all that, and stuff like that. Like we said, sellouts, but it is what it is. And obviously, this word Scythian, we know what that means. The apostle looked it up, and he goes into Russia. He says Skyface, probably a foreign origin, a Scythian, a savage. It says Scythian, rude or rough. A Scythian inhabitant of Scythia, or modern-day Russia, by the more civilized nations of the antiquity. The Scythians were regarded as the wildest of the barbarians, man. So you got levels to the barbarians. You got rough cats and you got cats that are rougher than other cats. And these are all people in the truth. The Israelites that knew the Israelites, but they didn't want. They followed after the Greek ways, even though knowing that they were Israelites. We could read all the Maccabees and that. Okay. give me a sec. I'm just getting the book of Maccabees. Just on this phone there.
When you look at the movie Gladiator, at the start of the movie, what were they showing you? You know, Marcus Aurelius, she was Jake. That's when basically Jake came into power in the Roman Empire after Nerva, and they were fighting against the barbarians at the start of the movie. You know, barbarians came out of the woods with their axes and the face paint and all that, and they had their phalanxes against them. They showed you that in the movie. Yeah, and Rome always had back and forth with the barbarians, man, and really that. When Rome got taken over by Jake anyway, in the Holy Roman Empire, and really you had a lot of infighting too, you know, in Europe, Jake against other Jake kingdoms, because you know that goes into that prophecy about the 1,000 years that it was going to be bound because we were going to come to rulership. So you're gonna have, you're gonna have Israelites in that Roman system. You're gonna have Israelites in the barbarians, tribes out there, because we're scattered all around, man. That's why when it goes into the scriptures, the Apostle Paul said a Greek to the Greeks and a barbarian to the barbarian, you know.
Yeah, because you got to know what to do with every spirit.
Yeah.
And what you, and it's like it said, we're all in Yahweh. Kind of said we're all one in Yahweh. So that's what unites us. Is the word.
Yeah.
You know, it's this truth.
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. Like. It's all to do with the truth. That's why you had wicked Jake back then that were part of the circumcision, and they didn't want to deal with the uncircumcision. They didn't want to deal with Jakes out there, basically being like Greeks that were believing and coming into the fold. Same thing today. You got people that won't accept Cornelius as an Israelite and different things like that. Same thing today, man. But you look at the Apostle Paul. Hebrew of the Hebrews, he come up under Gamaliel, he grew up learning the law, knew he was an Israelite, all of that, zealous for it, but he was an apostle unto the Gentiles, Who is the letters he was writing to, where's the book of Jerusalem, well, you know what you got the Corinthians, the Ephesians, where are these places, man? The Thessalonians, where do you think Thessalonica is? It's in Greece. So who do you think the Apostle Paul was writing to? Heathen? Nah, he was writing to the Israelites that were in these places, man. The Apostle Paul went to Malta. You had barbarians over there, So he was. So it's about the word. It's about this word coming out, man. And that's the example set by the Apostle Paul.
That's interesting, man. Because you have the different churches in the different regions, and you have different spirits that Paul was dealing with when he went to these places. That's Greeks, barbarians, Scythians.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got Paul's journeys, which are important, and the way Paul, how does Paul teach nowadays? Through the Urim and the Thummim, because the prophets are back. So through the Urim and Thummim, people from all these different regions, all over the world, are being woke up. What I might read back at these one, but what that made me think of is scripture in my head. What was the scripture I was thinking? If I remember it, I want to remember it, but I was going to read another chapter. It's kind of what he was going into about all these. What the hell was it? Damn, I can't remember right now. But I kind of want to read that now. About the different journeys and that. But I can't remember what it is. So let me read Maccabees. Did you quote a scripture?
No.
Okay. This is Maccabees, first Maccabees 1:1. And it happened that after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead first over Greece. And that's Alexander the Greek. They make movies on Alexander the Greek, and this is it's mentioned in the Bible, man. Because the scriptures is a history book. For all you naysayers out there, you want to read pagan texts, you carry on reading. It's not like you've got spirits on you, man. You don't have to battle these demons. It says, in many wars, and made many wars and war Daniels. And today we're in the 10 toes. It says, and went through to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. So the Lord gave him power over the earth, just like the Lord's given Esau Edom that now. And now he's got more power than he had back then. This is the last goal, this is the last hurrah. Esau Edom is technology, the mark of the beast. So I mean, AI, robots. This is the last shit. That's why the Lord's coming in them ships to destroy his witchcraft, his technology, man. Because he's exalted, he's puffed up right now. He's got it going on right now. And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. You gotta pay. You know, when you had a time where you would pay nations, but you still was able to keep your customs and your laws, man. But they've done away with that. They made you police slaves. Nah, we don't want you practicing that. We want your faith. And after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honourable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So this is history, man. The four generals of Alexander the Greek. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule everyone in his place. And after his death they all put crowns upon themselves, so did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. So they set themselves up as rulers, man. And what was the difference between the Greeks and the Romans? The Greeks set themselves up as kings, whereas the Romans did that. Where you got democracy, man, voting, or the people vote, as people, instead of like a king's ruling. That's that Roman system for you, man. Because even even in countries where you got a king and queen, like England, Queen Elizabeth, King Charles now. Even I think Spain had a king and queen. They're still voting. They're still voting for. So why would you do that in a kingdom, in a realm when you got a king and queen, man?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? It doesn't make sense.
goes into that in the scriptures about that's close. Yeah, in the scriptures it talks about that elders going into it. You know, they had this, the Senate mentioned 300 men, then they pick one. That's that whole presidential system that they got going on in the Roman Empire, man. You know, that's what they used to do. The plebeians and the patricians. And the patricians were out the scholarly class, the higher class, and then you had the plebeians out of the working class. And then eventually what would they do? They would nominate one guy, and that one guy would basically rule over for a term. The same system they got today, presidency, prime ministers, you know? Same shit. You got the parliament over here, it's the same thing. It's basically a senate house. And that's really just a sign of, that's just a sign of democracy, man, you know? Got it over there in Turkey. Yeah, you know, they be having fights in that parliament.
Yeah, a lot of them other parliaments are rough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It'll be rough. The closer you get in to that Middle East, man. So the ancient world out there, it gets rough. Turkey, all that.
Oh, that movie Gladiator, they showed you that. Even in the 300 movie, they had these councils. In the movie Gladiator, what you have? You had the senates. There was a senator that was trying to help him and all that, you know. Even the guy who played what's his name? Marcus Aurelius' son. I forgot his name now. The emperor that was Marcus Aurelius' son. And in the movie, you know, he was basically, the Senate was coming up against him, man. You know? Power struggles. And you know, in England, like the elder was going into England before, you know, you got King and Queen. You know, they're Edomites. You used to have what, King James. You had Israelites on the throne, the divine right of kings. But what happened, man? You had guys like Oliver Cromwell and all that. You know, you had the whole Guy Fawkes night. They were trying to overthrow all that, come up into Parliament. You had the Roundheads and all that. You got all this history where basically they were trying to get rid of the strength and the rulership and power of the kings and put in the parliamentary system. You know, that was when Edom coming back into power, and that shows you who they are, man. It's the same people coming back. It's the same Romans coming back. The pagan Roman Empire, the Edomites, the Greeks. Same shit. That's why they got their pillars. That's why you got their, you know, Roman numerals, Roman. You go to the doctor when you want to learn how to. If you want to learn how to be a physician in this society, you know what you got to do? You got to learn the Latin words and phrases for muscles and groups and bones. Oh, this is the medulla oblongata. This is the this and that. If you want to become a lawyer, you work in the judicial system, you got to learn the Latin. And Latin's that was the native language of the Roman Empire, man. You know, so that just shows you who's in rulership today. It's the Roman. This is the second leg of the Roman Empire, the pagan Roman Empire, with the Edomites coming back into power. That was the whole thing. That was what Renaissance was all about. Stamping down Jake. Getting rid of the Holy Roman Empire and bringing about their New World Order Empire, the New Rome.
That's right. So this is what 1 Maccabees 1 and 10. And it came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus or Antiochus, whatever the fuck you want to say it. Surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been an hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 100 in 30th and 7th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. One sec. That's messed up. In those days, went there out. So out of that wicked, out of him you had a wicked roots. Antiochus, and that's who's the wicked? The Edomites. They like to call themselves the Greco-Romans because they're so proud of their kingdom, man. They're telling you, the Edomites are telling you what kingdom they had. Alex started with Alexander the Greek, man. We're gonna have to go out in the fucking country lanes, aren't we?
Probably, yeah.
Because you say, yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, no sweat, because that's what you have to do, man.
Yeah.
Because to keep doing work. And you know they're turning these motorways into smart fucking motorways, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that 15-minute cities, grid control, all that sort of stuff, which we expose all the time. But you know what? A lot of these ain't gonna. A lot of these are gonna take the chip. A lot of these are gonna take the NFC mark. It's all sorts of crazy stuff. All them red flashing lights that they got. Sites.
Yeah, the mark of New Rome. You know,
Yeah.
the mark of the beast, EU nail.
Alright, it says in those days there went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. And that's you know, the tribes are always like that.
Yeah.
You go down to a lot of these cities. Remember, I moved to London and I was just living down there. And I met these brothers and that. And you had a lot of parties down there. And these niggas are fucking Greeks, man. Down there. Faggots, lesbians, anything you can think of going on. They want to be involved in every event, every fucking event, man, that's going on. Plays, concerts, everything that's going on, they're involved. But they worship the system, the image of the beast. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's the spirit that they got on them, man. So they're like, they don't want to deal with this truth, man. They're like, oh, they want to have fun. They want to have blonde dreadlocks. When you come in the truth, man, the scripture says broad is the way that leads to destruction, but the truth is a narrow path. And a lot of people can't handle it. A lot of people are too stressful. We're really not stressed out.
Yeah.
We're not stressed. We believe in the Lord, man. We know what's coming. We know what's coming, man. We ain't even stressed out, man. These kingdoms go, what the fuck is there to be stressed out about right now? Obviously oppression, of course. But this kingdom's going down, bro. So we know that. We know that, man. We know that this kingdom's fucking going down. A lot of these tribes, man, if they can't party and bullshit and commit adultery, they don't feel right. And they don't feel right if they can't party, bullshit, or commit some adultery. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the Israelites back in Egypt that were on that, man. That's why the Lord had to do away with a lot of Jake in the wilderness, man. Idol worship. They were complaining about Moses bringing them out there. Or you brought us out here to die. They wanted to go back to Egypt with the leeks, the comforts. Go back into slavery. Same spirits coming back. Well, let's make a let's make a deal with the Greeks. You know, same thing today. You got Jakes that are sellouts. They want to suck up to Esau and his beast system. Well, go ahead, because the scriptures say, though hand go in hand, surely the wicked shall not go unpunished. You're gonna suffer the same fate as the wicked, man. You're gonna get burnt to crisp in their nukes.
Yeah, swimming in the nukes, backstroking in the nukes. The scripture calls it the lake of fire. You like going swimming, where you're gonna be backstroking in the nukes, swimming in the nukes, all that. So you're gonna be doing, man. It says, so this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. So this is Israelites that said, we want to be part of this Greek world. We don't want to be Israelites. Let us in. And you know what? A lot of you are going to be doing that when this new world order pops off. You're going to be like, I want to know, I'm not against you, Esau, man. All this chaos happening, you're going to be like, no, give me the NFC, I'll take it. I want to be part, I want to party, I want to get involved. I love LGBTs. This is the shit that you're going to be saying. So we know that 2/3 of the Negroes in America are going to be destroyed. And a lot of you tribes all over the world are going to be fucking destroyed. But we know that. That's facts. It says, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen. So they built what's a place of exercise? Gymnos, stadiums. All that's great, man. The Olympics, all that. The paganism, the 12 Olympian gods, look it up. So like you say, oh, but I like the Olympics. Listen, man, I like watching boxing, MMA, UFC. I like watching UFC, boxing, like combat. I like all of that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I love that shit. War, fighting. I don't watch anything like that. You know. And but you know, these motherfuckers. He says that and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief. What happens when you know, they used to run around doing discus butt naked. Look it up. That's why a lot of them Greek freak statues are butt naked. Freaks. And then you got this pedophile thing you're finding out. Football. Okay, we're back. We're hating on what we're doing. We're back anyway because you can't stop the word.
This is the definition of number, an arithmetical value expressed by a word.
It says, now when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he fought to reign over Egypt that he might have dominion of the two realms. Wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude of chariots and elephants and horsemen and a great navy. Man, Esau loves war. You said the Romans had the perfect, they had the great war tactics and all that. And now Esau now on this side, he's got his technology. How are you gonna make war with that? Missiles and all that, but then the Lord's had it where nations that don't like his ass have got nukes. And that's gonna be his downfall, man. Only people, the American kingdom and God bless America and all that, you people are stupid, man. To say Americans are the stupidest people on the planet. I'm talking about just the stupid Americans, man. They interview them on the streets and they don't know anything. And they think God loves America and all that. And with they love people on the planet and they're liberating the planet. Most nations hate America. You know what I'm saying? People in Europe, they don't like America. Even Edomites in Europe, other Germans, they don't like America. You speak to that Polish, They're cursing America out. But them Americans, they think they're over there in America thinking that they're I'm talking about Edomites. Think they're the liberate with they might have the Trump hats on and all that. They think they're the liberators of the earth, make America great and all that. Man, fuck America, man. Was it America Vespucci?
Yeah.
The enemy's bitter.
Yeah.
That's why Gad's always cursing their ass out. Gad's like, man, fuck you devils, man. Gad Reuben. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's popping, man.
Yeah, his lip was more stout than his fellows.
Right.
Americans always say that European Edomites, or they're dumb, they're obnoxious, loud. They think they own the place.
Yeah, they actually act like that. It's mad.
I'm an American citizen.
Man, they're so proud, man. Like, what's wrong with me? Who the fuck cares? America and all that. Like, I'm talking about the Edomites. When the Trump protesters out in the streets. Like, anybody gives a fuck. They don't. People want to. From Russians, BRICS, they want to blow America off the face of the earth. You want to defend that? LGBTs and all this. So fuck America. And that's why you got a lot of people that are going to burn in America, because they die hard believing those philosophies, man. They'll watch the shows and they come against the prophets, starting with the apostles in America. That's why the apostles and elders are up there to condemn that main chief place in concourse, man. The fucking, like you said, that the woman that sat on the, the place that was the most stout than its fellows, that main kingdom, these Edomites, is America. It's the wickedest place on the planet. Rothschilds, live in England, but their business operation, their main kingdom, is that America. Which is a creation. Will come out of England and all that. So England's wicked as hell. You just got a lot of witches that live in England, man. Hiding in these woods, you know what I'm saying? As we know. You know what I mean? Just out here in these creepy ass woods. So I was gonna read the whole chapter on that, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna leave it there, man. I'm gonna leave it there, and Lord, really, you people were edified by this lesson. We kind of went into some stuff. I'm gonna try and hit this topic a bit more. The Spirit is getting them to go into this barbarian and Greek stuff and talk about Europe. Talk about Europe. Talk about different countries, Poland, Romania. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, when you go to the Polish shops and you eat this stuff, the shit is way better, man. The quality of the food is way better in certain parts of Europe than it is over in Western Europe and in the West. It's better, man. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, we're gonna do some more shows, Lord willing, for the Spirit, and we're just gonna touch on different things, man. And start going into certain stuff. But through the Spirit, Lord willing, I really want to start going into this sort of stuff, this kind of topics: barbarians, Greeks, maps, locations. We had one brother that was from Malta. He was in the truth in a camp. So we're going to start touching on that. This brother's from Turkey. We've got brothers from all over the world. So we're going to start hitting on all of that, man. Talk about this Europe and all that. You know what I'm saying? So, pretty much, man, they shalom to all you brothers out there. And we're going to close out. So stay strong, man. Stay strong.